Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting through the lens of self-government. I coach people all over the world, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to become a parenting coach. When times get hard, people worry about what is closest to them, which is their families. They want stability, they want security. You're probably seeing that and feeling that, which is why you're looking at this video in the first place, because you want to help people. You want to be a parenting coach and give people the things that they need for success. Well, I've got some gems that you can share with people, and I also want to explain the best way to coach some people as well. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my coaching program and some key things that you can do as you're trying to help some of your friends along their parenting journey. If you feel called to help families during these hard times where families have been hit economically and there's been sickness and there's been all these problems that people are facing, you are not alone. There are so many people that are wanting to help families right now. I've been helping families for well over 20 years at this point. I've been teaching families self-government. I never thought I would. I actually thought I was just going to mind my own business, trying to be the best mom that I could be. And then suddenly I ended up doing treatment foster care. And then suddenly I ended up speaking around places about parenting, and I thought it would be short-lived. And then suddenly the BBC made a documentary of my family, and then it was never going to end. So then I had to write books. I've written 11 books about parenting, and I teach people things that you don't get in other parenting programs. I teach people skills that they need for success. Many people understand the principles that they want in their parenting, but their practices or their behavior as parents don't necessarily match. And I know many of us see that. Some people can find the practices and the principles that match all on their own, but there are many people that struggle, and they need someone to break it down for them, especially some of our younger parents nowadays. The younger parents have been raised with a lot more entitlement. They are a lot more acutely aware of their feelings and don't necessarily pay attention to how their behavior is impacting their feelings. So they feel disempowered lots of times, overwhelmed, stressed, and they don't know how to pick themselves up and get going because our society did not give that to them. Instead, everyone was plugged in when they were going through their adolescent years, which is when they should have been learning how to handle some of these kinds of life problems. So do people need coaching? 100%. But they need sound coaching. They need principles and practices that are based upon principles, not just tricks and tactics, which is what a lot of people do. So we have to be very careful that when we're coaching people, we don't just tell them some trick that worked for us, because one trick that works for one child may not work for somebody else. But a principle is broadly applicable, and it will always work in every circumstance. In the end, it will do the teaching. So that's why I teach principle and principle-based skills, so that people can always hold on to them in any circumstance. In 2009, when the BBC contacted me and asked me to be on the program, The World's Strictest Parents, they tried to psych me out a little. They said, "Oh, we're bringing you these kids and they're so bad and they have all these problems." And I said, honestly, there's nothing that's going to surprise me. There's nothing I have not handled or I'm not prepared for. And they probably thought that I had a little bit too much confidence, but the truth was I'd been doing treatment foster care for troubled teens for years, and there was pretty much no behavior that I had not seen before. So I did have confidence, and I also knew that I had all the skills needed to handle any circumstance. And then no matter what those teens would throw at me, I knew what I was going to say and do next, because I had a whole quiver of skills and principles that I could utilize that would help them have a change of heart. So what I teach is self-government. Self-government is all about having a change of heart. The definition of self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. This means that you choose to change your own behavior because you choose to have a change of heart. So that's what I teach. And if you would like to teach what I teach, then let's talk about how to do it. Before I talk about teaching what I'm teaching and how to really be a good parenting coach to other people, click that subscribe button now. There are so many great videos here on this channel that you are not going to want to miss. They will help you learn more and more as you start diving into the world of self-government. Click subscribe now. Okay, so when a parent teaches their child self-government, it's actually impossible unless they are learning self-government too. So the type of coaching that I give is whole family coaching. It's not just what one parent does to their child. If you're coaching someone on something they can do to their child, that's called manipulation. And it is meant to evoke some sort of emotional response, maybe fear, maybe that they feel bad about themselves, something like that. But that's all manipulation. Good parenting, good teaching should be done in a way that is calm, predictable, that everybody knows how it's going to happen ahead of time, and there's a place and a way to hold ourselves accountable as parents and as children. So my teaching self-government parenting system incorporates all of those things. And I don't just tell people tricks that they can do to control their children. The children need to choose self-government. Do you know every person makes a choice? You can't make someone choose a certain thing. That's the whole nature of choice. So if we understand everyone has a choice, we trust that they want to make good choices, especially because that's how we're trying to raise them. Then we just give them the skills and the principles they need and gently guide them toward those choices. When I say gentle, that doesn't mean we don't correct, because we absolutely must correct. But corrections can be done in a gentle, calm, and loving way, even if they are firm and consistent as well. That's usually the balance that people struggle with. How do you be firm and consistent and also be kind and gentle and loving and understanding? Well, it's totally possible, but you have to make sure that you're not in a stressed part of your brain or you can't do it. If you go to midbrain or back brain, those are stress parts of your brain, then what happens is you end up starting to panic. And when you panic, you turn to manipulation, you turn to emotion, because those are emotional parts of your brain. One key thing that you can do to not have emotion in your parenting is know the words to say. This means that even though it goes against what I wanted to do at the very beginning of teaching parenting to people, I actually give people scripts to say. When I first started teaching parenting at conferences, people would say, okay, but what do I say instead? I don't know what else to say. And I would say, well, I don't want to tell you what to say, but this is what I say. And they'd say, yeah, that's what I want to say. And then I realized that that's exactly what people need. They need to know what to say. If you don't give them the exact words to say, they're going to keep saying the old things, or they might try to create some new idea in their head, but it could trend toward emotion, depending on where they're at when they decide upon the words that they're going to say or the action that they're going to take. Good parenting is pre-planned. That means the person decides ahead of time, I will handle it like this, I will say it like this, and they tell it to their child too. And that holds them accountable and the child accountable. Also, there's meetings that take place where the whole family can evaluate how it's going and the direction they're heading as a family unit, which is super powerful. So, do you want to know how to learn the teaching self-government system? There are a couple of different ways that you can start. The best way, if you can get there, sometimes we do them online, but if you can get to one of the live ones, the best way is to come to one of my 3-day Teaching Self-Government Parenting Mastery trainings. I do them a few times a year. I limit the size of groups of people that can come. You can come with your spouse and you can learn together, and so that you can start implementing the skills like how to follow instructions, accept no answers, accept consequences, disagree appropriately, do effective corrections, intensive teachings, all of these different things you can start applying in your home with your spouse, because you got to start living it. You can't coach somebody on something you don't really know. And I think that's the thing. A lot of therapists, they're like, oh, that's really extreme. I don't know. I mean, at my house, my kid doesn't do that. So try this, right? And then they're not actually giving something that really has been proven. I've worked with the hardest children that my state has to offer. I've taken in 2 unruly British teens, and within days they were changed in my home on TV. I know what works. I know the skills, and I'm happy to teach them, but it does take a little bit of time. It takes 3 days to learn them. It's 24 hours of training. Now, if you can't make it to one of those 3-day trainings, because maybe it's not going to work in your schedule or something like that, then there is an online course. It's called the TSG Parenting Course, and it's on teachingselfgovernment.com. Go to teachingselfgovernment.com, go to the shopping page, find that online parenting course, and that will give you 21 hours of training. You will get 4 coaching calls to help you get on track. Also, you can ask me questions on a support group too. For every week afterwards, you get a trial membership of that, and then if you want to stay on it, you can. That is the next best way. Now, after you either go to the 3-day training, which is 3 days start to finish, plus you get 6 months to ask me questions after that, or you do the online training and you get the coaching calls and you go through that program, then if you want to, you can take the training that I have to become a teaching self-government mentor. I call it mentor instead of coach because I do feel like that's really at the heart of it. We're really just trying to help mentor somebody along, help them become the leader, not me become the leader. Every parent is the leader of their own home, and they need someone to empower them in that direction. And that's what the Teaching Self-Government Mentors do. Once you're a Teaching Self-Government Mentor, you actually have the opportunity where you can work for me. You can mentor people for our company. They can contact you and get their questions answered. You can speak at different places. You can coach people. There are a lot of different opportunities that you have once you become a Teaching Self-Government Mentor. So if you would like to start your journey to coaching parents, then go to teachingselfgovernment.com. Go to events and see when the next parenting mastery training is going to happen and sign up. And then if that's not going to work, go to the store and look for the course. Get started on the course. You can even make payments on these things if you need to. They're not very expensive, but if you need to. I want people all over the world to teach self-government because self-government is actually the recipe for personal freedom, freedom for families, and freedom for all of our societies. Go to teachingselfgovernment.com today. I can't wait to get to know you.